What up, everybody? Welcome back to RoyalBluFX. I know, I want to confess that it's been a while since I've ever done a video on YouTube. So I'm back. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of things. I've been going through a lot of things, obviously, as well. So in this video, we'll talk about what I'd like to call fake structure, a structure that looks like structure, but a lot of you out there that actually tries to identify structure identifies it incorrectly in the markets. A lot of the times when we have the tendency to look at structure and map out structure, we tend to map out the wrong or incorrect structure in the markets, and this video will help you and show you how to identify the correct structure and not identify the false structure. I'll obviously pinpoint the fake structure so everyone out there can avoid identifying this piece of structure or this piece of data essentially as structure in the markets. So let's begin.
Gentlemen, the king!
All right, so what is fake structure? Fake structure to me looks something like this. When prices are pushing bullish, like this, and then they're retracing, going bullish again, and you can see that this low hasn't broken the high yet, right? Then we break this low down here, right? And then all of a sudden, we as a trader think, and we start to overanalyze and start to think, okay, well, are prices bullish or bearish? And we start thinking, okay, just because prices are bullish here and prices are going low now from here, from this high to this low here and this high to this low, we're starting to overanalyze and start thinking, now this is bearish, right? Well, what's interesting is in order to understand how fake structure works, or what fake structure looks like, excuse me, all right, we have to understand who's actually controlling all this piece of information, okay? A lot of the times when we're trying to enter the markets, right, we're looking for entries, we would identify a chalk. We would look for a chalk, which means a change of character, right? So when prices are pushing bullish like this, right, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the high to break first, the low to be broken second, and then we look to enter right here at the extreme, and then look for the impulse, right? And so this is what we're looking for, okay? So this is clear break of structure, right? But when we see things like this, all the way here to the left, where prices are breaking a high, right? And then this low here has been broken, right? And now you start and you're left confused here, where we look at the internal structure now of this part of this area here, right? Of this range from this low to this high. We're starting to look at the range, and we start thinking, okay, well, this is probably my structure, right? We're thinking to ourselves, okay, well, this is the chalk. There's a high broken there, and then there's a low broken here, and now we're overcomplicating everything right here, right? Now we're thinking, okay, well, this is our sell. We're looking to sell here, right? Well, sudden prices do this, right? Now, this is why I like to call this a fake structure, or fake structure, okay? It's in other terms, it's also liquidity, because what price is doing in here from this low to this high is building liquidity to obviously fake out a lot of those people that, a lot of those traders who would like to buy and sell early in the markets, right? Or for those that are identifying structure incorrectly. So your benefit to this is really to understand when prices are between a high and between a low, like this, okay? Just understand who's controlling all this data in here, okay? That's the key to understanding structures, understanding who's controlling all this data, right? When the market is so busy, something like this, okay? You always want to be referring to what's happening on the left, right? So we want to refer to what's happening on the previous high and the previous low right over here. Okay, that was a bad arrow. And that's how you'll find your structure, right? And once we identify that, then what we wait for, obviously, is a clear sign for prices to break either the high or the low to tell us where price is going, right? And many times when prices do this, right, they're building liquidity inside a high and a low, like this, right? They're building liquidity for liquidity to be taken out from the highs or from the lows, and to push the market into a different direction, right? So let's just say when prices did do this, right, like this, now you can consider this actually a break of structure right here. The low is broken, right, by this area, right? So we wouldn't expect to sell right over here right quick, obviously, but this is a whole nother topic and a whole nother video, obviously. But you can also see that the highs right over here were broken as well, right over here, right? So once we have the high broken, something like this, right, we'd of course try to look and anticipate for prices to come and respect this area of demand, for prices to push bullish like this, right? And evidently when prices go bearish like this, right, break a new low, right, now this would be the low here, the low, and then we look to see if we can anticipate for prices to go bearish from here. Okay, proper structure mapping is very helpful for you whenever you're looking to obviously trade with a direction. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to show you guys in the live chart how to identify these fake this fake structure. Okay, so you guys can avoid things like this. Okay, because again, many times a lot of you look to enter the markets. A lot of you start identifying the sort of the fake chalk as actual structure, sort of like how I was explaining over here. Like there's a high broken, right, and there's a low broken, and now we start to look to anticipate for a sell here when obviously prices are just probably going to go bullish, right? And in many cases, prices are just building liquidity, right? Like here's a equal high, price can go bearish here, then go bullish from here. Right, stuff like this. Okay, so I'm going to go on a live chart right now and show you guys how to identify the fake structure. All right, so here I am on a live chart example. What I'm going to do is cut the market and do some replay with you guys, just so you guys can see how I identify fake structure. Okay, so here we go. We just cut the 4 hour. We're going to go on the 15-minute time frame just to kind of have more data to work with. Okay, so here we go. What I can see right here is prices are going bearish right now, right? All I'm doing is seeing the swing high to the swing low right over here. And what I'm going to do is just map it out here for you guys. All right, you can see how prices have broken structure right over here, so I can't see any fake structure from here. Okay, because there was a high there was a high broken and there was a low broken. So you can see that we have a high, low, right? And there's our new high, there's our new low, there's our new high. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can find the fake structure here, so just so you guys can see. Okay, so right here what is happening, we have a high and we have a low here. Okay, this is a high right now, right? But it's not a true high yet until this low is broken. Okay, so you can see in here how structure is being broken right there. But can we call this a true break of structure? No, we can't call this a true break of structure because the real low hasn't been broken right over here. Okay, right over here. Okay, can you guys all see that, right? So, and the reason why it's a fake structure is because we haven't really broken this range. All right, so let's play and see what happens. Okay, see, a lot of you guys are thinking to buy here already, and a lot of you are buying right over here because you're thinking that there's a low, there's a high, there's a low, and there's a high here. A lot of you are also selling, thinking that we're still selling based off of this high in here, right? Because in all true honesty here, we don't know if prices are going to be breaking yet, right? So for those traders that are looking to enter this market or wanting to sort of sell here, right, we need to be extremely patient because we need to be waiting to break this low right over here. Okay, so let's continue here. All right, and what's happening here is right now is the market is building a lot of liquidity. Okay, it's building a lot of liquidity because there's a lot of retail traders that are buying way too early and selling way too late, or selling way too early and selling way too early. Okay, so and you can see over here that all the liquidity was just taken, right? You can see that there's a lot of liquidity here in the highs as well. We'll talk about that later, right? Let's continue with our new structure. So where does our structure start? It starts from here. Okay, generally speaking, this is our swing high here because prices have taken the high over there, have taken out liquidity. All right, so we have prices going bearish. So this is our new range from this high to this low. Okay, anything in here is internal structure like this. Okay, so let's continue from here. All right, what we're looking for is for fake structure. Again, you can see it again happening here. All right, you can see that there are buyers trying to buy here because they were identifying this high here as a break of structure. All right, they were seeing that they had a low, they had a high, they had a low, and they had a high. And there were buyers here trying to buy against the market, right, against this high. All right, so this is what I was talking about again in my examples. And evidently, if you're trying to enter this market, well, what do we need to do? We need to be waiting to break the low now, right? We need to wait to break this low to start identifying our true structure. Now, you can say that this is a high and this is a low, right? But the true high really starts here, okay? The real break of structure, the real high, actually starts from here, okay? Because this was the high that caused the break this low. This is our extreme. This is what we consider as our extreme here. And our extreme is really the swing point It's a swing high. So we call this our swing high right here. Excuse me, let me just delete all this nonsense here. All right, so this is our swing high, right? And our swing low has yet to be determined, but inside, between this break right here, when this break has happened, this is our internal high right here, okay? So we'd have this as our internal high, and we start mapping out structure here and start looking for sells here, okay? See how this is easy, guys? Like this. All right, so once this break has happened, notice we had met right at the high here. We had this range to this low here to play the sell, right? Because this high here was responsible for this break. You can see that prices have gone bearish here. I want you to also see more fake structure when prices are breaking another high here. Maybe I should use my right there, that line like that, right? You can see that there was a high broken there, so evidently, excuse me, people are looking to buy here, right? There's a break, right? Now more people are trying to buy here based off of this wick here. You can see that there are buyers that pushed bullish here, right? And obviously prices did what? They went against the people that were buying there, because prices are actually sell from here. You can see more breaks here right at that wick. I'm going to avoid these actually. This is tiny information, so I'm going to focus on the main structure. So let's look at this low here. This is our main low here, okay? And this is a high, but it's not the main high just yet, okay? The reason why that's not our main high or that swing point yet is because prices haven't broken structure. But let's look from this low, from this high to down to this low. We'll see if if people are actually trying to buy. You can see that there were buyers yet again here. Okay, so a lot of people are thinking that this is the low right here. There's a low, there's a high, there's a low, there's a high, right? And there's a low, there's a high, okay? So a lot of people are trying to buy right here because they have an indicator that says, hey, I'm going to be buying here right now, right? Let's continue. So our true high starts from here, right? And our low is yet to be determined until price starts retracing our swing low, excuse me. Okay, watch what's happening. All right, so we have broken the structure by wicks. This will be our type 2, right? Which means that we don't look at we don't, on a higher time frame, we would never expect this as a true break of structure. Okay, but this would be our entry type 2. All right, now prices are retracing. All right, so now what do we determine as fake structure? Okay, do we even actually have real structure here? Okay, real structure hasn't created yet because we haven't broken this high, but we haven't really broken this low either. Okay, this area here is probably just liquidity, grabbing the liquidity from this low, and probably from a larger, if we're on a higher time frame, it's probably grabbing liquidity from another major structure like this, right? Maybe if we go on the 4-hour, we might be able to see here. Is there anything? No, I don't see anything. So it's definitely grabbing liquidity from the low, obviously, because each high and each low have liquidity in there, right? And then it's just retracing a bit. So let's go back on the 15-minute, okay? But if we were to continue this trend, the structure to the downside like this, it wouldn't be a true break. What we would wait is for another huge impulse to go to the downside like this. So let's see what happens. All right, so prices are, look at this. You can see a lot of people, a lot of traders are trying to buy, right? They're seeing this as a low, right? They're trying to buy here now, right? Because they think this is a buying area, right? So let's see what happens here. Okay, notice what happened here. Excuse me. Notice what happened here. A lot of buyers try to buy, they failed, right? Because they didn't know what the true structure is, right? Or the true trend. Okay, if we now take this and expand it, okay, now what do we deem as the true high, right? We deem this as our true high right over here, I think. Let me see, not right there. Actually, yeah, excuse me, it's right there, right? That would be our internal swing high. This would be our major swing high. So we have this range to this range right here, and we're waiting for price to retrace to go bearish, okay? And we're also waiting from this high to this low also to go bearish like this as well. So I want you to see, again, why fake structure here is really manipulative, right? It makes people think that they should be buying when they should be selling. And you can see that this high here hasn't really been broken, so why should we be buying right here at this low? It makes no sense, right? What we need to know as traders is we always need to be patient, obviously, right? You've probably had this word thrown around all the time. Be patient. Another thing is, I need to let you guys all know, is that everything in the market is not tradable. And I repeat, everything in the market is not tradable. And we all need to get our heads out of there, because out of that sort of system of thinking, well, everything I see I have to trade, right? And that's what I used to think when I was young. When I was young, excuse me. Yeah, when I was young, when I started trading, right, about 6 years ago. So I always thought everything that I see, I have to trade, right? And the fact is, no, you don't. Everything you see is not tradable, right? We need to be following our rules here. Okay, so when you see this huge break, okay, this obviously tells me we're still bearish when we still have a high and a low here. We're still looking for sells, right? But if we were just seeing this information here, like that, this data here, okay, I'm not going to just want to just try and figure this out and try and figure out whether we're buying or selling here right now, right? I'm not going to just try and get into the market just because price is presenting me this data here. No, I need to be patient and say, okay, well, I need something clear. I know my extreme high is here, or at least this is a high, a swing point, right? And this is a low here, but this low isn't really, as part of my rules, excuse me. This isn't a break of structure for me, so I need a clean break of structure, potentially a solid body break, something like this, right? This would be a solid body break on the 4 hour, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that there's a huge body that falls beneath, right? And so now let's continue, okay? Let's see what other traders are doing here. Okay, so again, I mean, this keeps printing over and over and over. You can see that there are people right there. You can see that there's a chalk, right? Internal chalk, but it's not really a break of structure because the real high is actually here, okay? But if we're looking structure from this swing point to this low, this is our next high here, actually, that internal high. Okay, so we would look for price to retrace about 50% of the way, or at least 80 to 90% of the way, and then look for the sell. All right, so let's continue here. Do we have a sweep of liquidity? Yes, so this would be a internal swing point right there. So what we're looking for now is from this high to this low right now, and the low is yet to be determined. Okay, there's no fake structure happening yet. All right, so prices are just going bearish here. They're going nuts. Let's push this a bit. Okay, so we have this as a new swing point, obviously, and this is a new swing low here. And then I want you to look at it again. What is happening, right? We're building liquidity. There's a lot of sellers automatically think that they're selling right now, right? When prices are retracing, everyone thinks, okay, well, just because it's a high, I was told I need to sell after price reaches a high, right? Or once I see maybe a triple top or whatever. Like there's one, maybe two, I guess that would be a third one, or maybe if this reaches here and rejects, this would be considered as a triple top or whatever you want to call it. But in all evidence, we need to wait for now internal structure to break, because now this would be considered now as a internal break of structure like this, right? Now you can see that we have a high and a low here printing. We want price to retrace to go bearish here to catch this next sell, right? You can do this, right? This is all okay until, since price is breaking internal structure, but when prices are just ranging, something like that, if prices are ranging and aren't really going anywhere, you always want to avoid the internal structure, right? You can't really call it structure. It's all manipulation here. Okay, let's play this and let's go see what happens. All right, see how I call that, right? So I knew that this area here, let me just map this out. Let me show you guys here, okay? We had this low to this high, right? Internal structure in here, from here to here. I want you guys to see that this here was a wick break, right? Or type 2. All right, that was a wick break. So we wouldn't call this a real break of structure from here, from this high to this low. All right, but until this high here came and broke all this low here, right, with a body, because all this is deemed to be a body break right here. All right, then we can deem this as our new high now, right here. Right there, right, that high to this low. So we have this range to play with to look for the sell like this, okay? And you might be wondering, well, you know, RoyalBluFX, what are you talking about? You were just telling me don't trade the internal structure. You can trade the internal structure just as long as it's complete break of structures, right? But you can't be trading internal structure if prices are, say, like this, right? something like this. You can't be buying and selling in here because there's really no break of structures happening. You can see that prices this low hasn't broken this high yet, so we haven't. This low would be the swing point, right? If it broke this high, it would be the swing point. Then if we did break this high here, excuse me, this high, okay, this would be our internal structure point right here, and we would look for continuations like this to the upside. All right, but since we've respected this high now, and we see that there is structure pushing bearish here, okay, we have a high there, right, our swing point, and then we had a wick break there. We can start calling this now as our true structure high because we still have enough range from this high to this low to look for entries. If prices retraced, I would be glad, more than glad to look for sells here at this height to target this low right over here. Okay, so that's how I map out everything, you guys. I hope you guys all understood what I was talking about in terms of fake structure. It is just manipulation in the market, which is liquidity, obviously. If you guys all know how to trade liquidity, or if you guys don't know how to trade liquidity, please refer to some of my videos that are over here. I'll have a banner sliding over. And I hope you guys understand this video. If you guys really like this video, please throw a huge thumbs up, and I will see you guys all on the next.